Our next line is the best antidote is the recognition that everything is devoid of intrinsic existence. Okay, so what this means is, we have our disturbing emotions like anger and attachment, and jealousy and laziness and lack of integrity and spite and all sorts of delightful things like that, that we need to apply antidotes to. Okay? So when afflictions come in our mind, it's not just a question of ignoring them and waiting until they go away. Okay? Sometimes we can do that. Yeah? But that doesn't really solve the problem, because if we think about the situation again a little bit later, we're going to get angry again, or, get greedy again, or something like that. Yeah? So in the Tibetan tradition, we mainly focus on applying an antidote. In other words, generating another state of mind that is the opposite to that disturbing emotion. Okay? So in the case of getting angry, we generate fortitude and love. In the case of, cruelty or violence, we generate compassion. In the case of greed or attachment, we meditate on impermanence, or the benefits of generosity or something like that. Okay. In the case of ignorance of karma and its effects, then we contemplate how the karma and its effects, that law works. Okay? So these are individual antidotes that apply specifically to individual afflictions that we have. But there's one antidote that is the best one that they're talking about here, which applies universally to all the various afflictive states we have. And that's the understanding that all things lack any kind of inherent or intrinsic nature. Okay? So, in 25 words or more, what that means, it's difficult to give a short explanation of this, is that things, when the way they appear to our senses, is they appear to be very real objects out there. Okay? They appear to be something out there, unrelated to us. This is a table. This is a recorder. This is the color red. This is the carpet. This is a wall or the ceiling or whatever. It looks like all these things exist external to us and have no relationship to our mind, except we just happen to be walking along and contact them. Yeah? But so they appear to be very independent to us. They don't appear to depend on our mind, to depend on our perspective, on how we look at things, on what we call them. But when we actually analyze a bit deeper, we see that things are very, very dependent. Yeah? And so we call this a wall for a certain reason, don't we? Yeah? If those same pieces of Foswall, that's the material it's made out of, were laid flat, we might call it a floor. But when those materials are laid, perpendicular, like this, or vertical, then they're called a wall. Yeah? If the building's partially destroyed, those bricks may still be standing there, but are they a wall? Are they a wall? Doesn't a wall have to hold up something? You have, okay, that's true. Okay, so maybe it's still a wall. Never thought of that. Yes, it's no longer the wall of a house, for sure. Okay. In fact, it might be considered a mess instead of even a wall. Yeah. Without the rest of the building, would this be a floor? Or do you have to have the rest of the building to have a floor? Yeah. Without you existing, would there be me? Yeah. In other words, if nobody else existed, would we say I? Would we say me? Or is me always in relationship to somebody else? Me and others. Okay. So when we look, like right now, what do we have for lunch? Soup is, I don't know if we have soup, but soup is a good example. Yeah. When you have soup, soup comes from many different things, doesn't it? You have to have carrots and celery and potatoes and whatever else you choose to put in the soup. But is the soup any of the vegetables? Is the soup the broth? What exactly is the soup? Yeah. So what we're getting at, what do you think? What do you think the soup is?
It's a part of something, but it's still not complete.
Yeah. So the like the carrots would be part of the soup?
But just that alone wouldn't be the complete soup.
But what?
Wouldn't be the complete soup.
Yeah, it's not the complete soup, is it? Yeah. Is there anything that is the complete soup? Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. That's a very good answer. Yeah. Is there anything? Yeah. When you look at who you know who you are, who's Miranda?
Person?
Yeah. But can you point to who Miranda is? So is Miranda a chin?
No.
Who's Miranda?
A complete product, not just a chin.
Not but a complete product of what? What do you need to make Miranda?
A human? A person?
Yeah.
A complete body, not just a part.
Yeah, you need a body. And what else do you need?
What do you want me to say?
Miranda is a sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't be Miranda without your sister, right? What else?
No, she wouldn't be a sister without having a sister. But you need your body, okay? Do you need your mind too to have Miranda? Yeah. Because you need all your feelings, don't you? And all your thoughts. All those kinds of things. Because if there were just the body of Miranda, I don't think we'd call it Miranda. Yeah. It's interesting when you think about something. Yeah.
The important thing is you wouldn't be a daughter without me.
But he wouldn't be a father without you. Yeah. So when we look at things, things exist dependent to other things. They don't exist on their own, you know. Like right now, you're students, but you're students because there's a school, because there's a teacher. Yeah, you can't be a student without there being a school and without there being teachers. Can you? Yeah. Okay. So everything we are, everything we look at depends on something else. Yeah? So it either depends on, like the teacher and student and parent and child, like that, or it can depend on its parts. Okay? Like we look at the recorder, and the recorder is just a bunch of parts put together in a certain way, isn't it? Are any of the parts the recorder? No. But is it strange that you put together a bunch of parts that are not a recorder, but you get a recorder from doing that? Does that seem odd? Yeah, because all the parts are not a recorder. How can you put together a bunch of things that aren't a recorder and get a recorder? How does that work? Can you put together a bunch of oranges and get an apple? Mm-mm. Then how come we can put a bunch of things that aren't a recorder together and have it be a recorder? That seems rather strange, doesn't it? What makes it a recorder? Dad, you can answer this one.
We use it as a recorder.
Well,
It doesn't become a recorder till we see it, and it has a relationship with us, and it becomes something that we use to record.
yeah, and we call it a recorder. Yeah, we call it a recorder, and we have a definition for recorder, and it fits the definition of recorder. Yeah. But it's strange, because all the parts are not a recorder. And if you put all the parts together in front of you like this, they're still not a recorder. They're only a recorder when you put them all together in a certain way.
My favorite example is the flower.
Yeah,
The petals away, when does it stop becoming a
flower, right. Think about that one. Or think about the soup. You take out the potatoes, you take out the carrots, you take out the broth. Where did the soup go? When did it stop being a soup? Okay? So what we're getting at here is that everything's dependent on other things. Yeah? And when we see the world as things being dependent, then our view is much more flexible than when we see things as being very solid and concrete, as existing out there objectively, not in relationship to us or in relationship to anything else. Okay? So that best recognition is the recognition that they lack any kind of objective or intrinsic existence. Okay? So it's very interesting, very good meditation to do when you eat lunch, you know. You put salad in your plate, then you think, what makes this salad? Yeah, why do I say there's salad in my plate? Yeah, what makes it salad? What else do we have? Huh? Tofu. Yeah, what makes something tofu? It's quite interesting to start. And okay, well there's all these different molecules that make tofu. So which molecule is the tofu? I wonder if there's only one tofu molecule. Do you think there's a bunch of different molecules together? That form tofu? I don't know. Is there one complex tofu molecule? Or are there many tofu molecules put together? And which one's the tofu? Okay? So anyway, thinking like this gives us a lot more space in our mind, so we don't react so emotionally to different things. Like if you're really attached to something, clinging on to it, I want this, then you look at it and you mentally put it into different parts. And then you say, okay, what is it about this that I want? Yeah? Something you really want very much. And then you break it into different parts. Then, none of these parts look so good, do they? Yeah. So what is it I'm craving? Okay, so very good antidote like that.